Generations by Lucille Clifton. People who are going to be, in a few years, bottom of trees bear responsibility to something besides people. If it was only you and me sharing the consequences, it would be different. It would be just generations of men, but the business of war, these war kind of things, are erasing those natural, obedient generations who ignored pride, stood on no hind legs, begged no water, stole no bread, did their own thing, and the generations of rice and coal, of grasshoppers, by their invisibility, denounce us. Considering the first stanza where it says, people who are going to be, in a few years, bottom of trees bear responsibility to something besides people, if it was only, what I take this first stanza for is that all beings will return back to the earth at the end of their life, and that this transition is like the transition back home to the source. And because we all come back from the same source, whether we're human or a mammal or a reptile or any other creature or plant, we all will go back to the earth and dissolve and evolve back into it. And so I think that means while we're living, we should treat all of creation justly, and not just the part of creation that we think is deserved to be treated that way. And so I think that considering the second part, in which it states, you and me sharing the consequences, it would be different. It would be just generations of men. But looking at that part, I think that means that it is everyone's responsibility, woman, man, and child, but all of creation, to be a part of this ecosystem and to make sure that the laws of nature are being followed. And it says, but this war of business, these war kind of things are erasing those natural obedient generations who ignore pride, stood on no hind legs, begged no water, stole no bread. I take that as that war forces us to do harm to both humans and nature. It literally destroys the earth. And so the cause of war really is because we don't see the value of life. And so we resort to violence. And so pride basically takes over those who are involved in war, and it separates nature. And so what war does is it basically causes us to lose all that nature has given to us. And so considering the last part, did their own things, and the generations of rice, of coal, of grasshoppers, by their invisibility denounce us. War basically causes rations in most bad wars because the law of nature is change, and so we have to ration off what we partake in. And basically for the generations who are mostly impacted by war, they end up criticizing those generations before who were prideful of this, because it changes the creation, not only for humans, but other creatures in the earth, and it impacts people for generations to come. And so what generations before saw the value in, generations later may not see the value in that war. And so that is how I analyze generations.